I'd like to say good evening to everyone. We got a full house. We got a few seats up here in front. Got a few seats up here in the front over here if someone needs to sit down. Up here in the front. Anyone? All right. We'll get started. Call to order, Councilman Wilson. Roll call, Councilman Beard, Councilman Reno, Councilman Fryberry, Councilman Present. Can I get a motion to approve of the minutes for the pre-council meeting and the regular council meeting for May the 2nd, 2017?
I make a motion that the minutes for May the 2nd to be approved as submitted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can I get a motion to approve the current bills for the payments of $172,926.94?
I make a motion for the approval of the current bills for payment in the amount of $172,926.94.
Second.
Councilman Reno, second. All in favor?
Aye.
At this time, we have professional consultant reports. Professional consultant reports. No professional consultants. At this time, we have the mayor report.
Good evening, Council. Good evening to those of you here. Thank you for being here and joining us. This is an exciting for a couple of reasons. One, to see you all here, and secondly, for what we're going to be doing tonight. So thank you for joining us. We have some very special presentations that will be made. I want to just let you know what a privilege it is for me to serve as the mayor of the city of Irondale. Many of you are residents. I recognize we have a few folks here who live outside of Irondale for some of the celebration that we're doing tonight. But it is a privilege for myself, and I think for all of you, I speak for these councilmen as well, to serve you. That's what we're here for, is to serve the residents. It's not about us. It's not our projects. It's not our money. It's all about the residents. So thank you for allowing us that opportunity and privilege to do so. We've seen some really neat things beginning to happen here over the past few months. How people within the city are taking interest and are showing up for meetings like this, and also not just meetings, but are doing things. Councilman Marino is going to share about one. You're going to share about the dog park, right? He's going to share about one of those where it just kind of rose up through the residents, some improvement in our community. And we had another one that kind of precipitated that and spurred on some folks to participate. We had a crowdfunding, GoFundMe event happen here. Ron Bishop coordinated that. I got that kicked off. Ron, thank you very much for that. And I think you have a presentation you're going to make at this time to the council here. And we are looking at our parks and trying to make improvements. And this was something that just kind of sprang up from the grassroots level. So Ron, let me thank you for your participation in this, for providing the leadership on it. And I'll let you tell the folks what you got.
Several weeks ago, we started a GoFundMe campaign to raise money to put some benches at Beacon Park. Thanks to the generous donations of the citizens of Irondale and Tower Homes, we were able to raise $1,850. And Mayor, we would like to present this check to you from the citizens of Irondale and Tower Homes.
Thank you. We'll take it straight to the bank. I guess I have to ask the council, because you do want to receive this, correct?
No.
And usually the request is going, the money's flowing the other way, or at least the request for money is flowing the other way. So it's always exciting when people just kind of see a need and meet a need. And some of you here contributed to this. Thank you for your contribution. People across the city. Not even folks that live close by, and I suspect a number of folks that don't regularly use the park, but saw the need and wanted to be a part of it and joined in. So we have a lot of people. Ron, I don't know if you remember how many people actually contributed, but there were a lot of
Close to 50.
Yeah, it wasn't like just one person funded the whole thing. I mean, it was small contributions, people putting their money together to help make this possible. So thank you for that. Again, it's our privilege to serve you, the residents here. We're doing the very best we can to be very good stewards of your money, your taxpayer money, and you'll see some things even tonight that we will discuss where we're using our best efforts to make the funds go as far as possible. We're going to We're going to go to the next phase of this on the presentations here, and I'll just call Fire Chief up and let you take it from here, okay?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, council, for letting us have this opportunity to present to you the faces of the future leaders here in the city of Irondale. These firefighters that we have here, we're proud of every single one of them, and each one of them brings a very special contribution to the city and to the fire department. It centers on public safety. You know, many times, you know, you might see them out cutting the grass in front of the fire station or washing the fire trucks, and they also have to clean the inside of the fire station also. But then just to it, the sound of an emergency tone goes off, they just transform into superheroes. I'm going to tell you, I'm just so proud to watch them because I've actually seen them saving people's lives, saving their property. And so I want you to feel like you can go to sleep at night and rest good knowing that these people are here to protect you. And so, you know, with this occasion here, we're able to recognize these. So I'm going to turn this over to, you want me to do this? Okay, all right. Assistant Chief Doss here is very instrumental in helping us with the management and organization of this fire department. So we appreciate his efforts in this. So we call forward Wes McDaniel, who's been promoted to the position of fire captain. We're going to make a photo off of this also. So this is he's getting his certificate.
Hey, Chief,
Yes, sir.
you know, I think his wife kind of got out of the picture there.
Well, we've got a special privilege for her. So. Okay. She gets to pin the badge on me.
Captain McDonald will be pinned by his wife, Laura.
Ms. McDonald need not feel bad. It took me a long time to learn how to do that very soon. Thank you. Now we're proud to introduce Andrew Stewart, who's been promoted to fire lieutenant. Get Mrs. Stewart to help with the pinning.
Lieutenant Stewart will be pinned by his wife, Jessie.
Next, we introduce to you Grant Bice, who has been promoted to fire apparatus operator. See what I mean? I'll let him finish it up later. We're pleased to introduce Sean McLaughlin, and he's promoted to fire apparatus operator.
Sean will be pinned by his wife.
We've got Band-Aids on the truck. Yeah, William Ricketts is also a part of this promotion, but he was not able to attend here tonight due to unforeseen circumstances. And so, but he, he's a very special person, and we're very proud for him at this time also. Now pleased to introduce to you Adam Lucas, who has been promoted to fire apparatus operator.
Adam will be pinned by his wife, Wendy.
Thank y'all for your participation.
Okay, well, thank you and congratulations to each of you for your fine work and for your promotions. It's a recognition that we pay tribute to you. We recognize your service and your quality of leadership. So thank you very much for what you do. And along that same line, we have a couple of presentations from our police department. So I'll ask the folks that are involved in that if you will step forward at this time.
Thank you, Mayor. Every year, the state of Alabama legislature presents a Medal of Honor recipient for a law enforcement officer in the state of Alabama. And I guess a couple of months ago, I sent a letter into the legislature nominating 2 of my officers for that. And it's actually given for the year before, so the 2017 medals for a heroic act done in 2016. So I sent a letter in nominating 2 of my officers for that medal. And at this time, I'd like to call those 2 officers up, Corporal Leonard and Officer let me get that back. Officer Leonard and Corporal Tolliver, if you guys would come forward. And both of these officers, as a result of what I sent in, they both were issued a House of Representatives resolution, and I'm going to put my glasses on where I can read this fine print. HR 300. And June 9th of last year, these officers were answering a call involving a burglary, and they both responded to the call. And Officer Leonard, the subject was in a vehicle, tried to stop the vehicle in the parking lot, and ended up getting drugged across the parking lot by the car as it took off, and resulted in a car chase and a vehicle crash. And then one thing, officer, hopefully they never had forced to do over their career is use deadly force. But the subject pulled a weapon on the officers, and that's exactly what they had to do. I'm going to read this real quick. This is commending Corporal Tolliver and Officer Leonard of the Irondale Police Department as nominees for the 2017 Alabama Legislative Medal of Honor for Law Enforcement. Whereas it's the highest commendation that we recognize Corporal Tolliver and Officer Leonard of the Irondale Police Department as nominees for the 2017 Alabama Legislative Medal of Honor for Law Enforcement, Alabama's highest law enforcement award for extraordinary courage in the line of duty. Whereas placed in a life-threatening situation without a moment's hesitation, Officer Tolliver and Officer Leonard placed themselves in the line of peril and stopped an individual who proved to be a danger to the public and showed he would do anything to avoid apprehension from harming or killing anyone. And whereas Officer Tolliver and Officer Leonard demonstrated immense courage, diligence, and quick response in a life-threatening situation Their loyalty and unwavering commitment to protect and serve the residents of Irondale were evidenced through their willingness to make the quick and proper response in order to protect the lives of others. And whereas Officer Tolliver and Officer Leonard epitomize the quality of those who serve and protect, and they are truly deserving of this distinguished nomination for the Legislative Medal of Honor for law enforcement. Now therefore, be it resolved by the House of Representatives of the Legislature of Alabama that we hereby recognize and honor Officer Tolliver and Officer Leonard as nominees for the 2017 Legislative Medal of Honor for law enforcement, and direct that they receive a copy of this resolution as evidence for our admiration and esteem. I'd like to present this to both of y'all. And also, as the police chief for the Irondale Police Department, I would like to present both of these officers with the Irondale Police Department Medal of Valor Bar presented to Mike Tolliver and Casey Leonard for your courage and strength of mind exhibited in the face of danger, protecting life on June 9, 2016. And these bars should be worn on your uniform to proudly display your valor. So thank you very much. These guys do a fantastic job protecting and serving. And before we get out of here, one of the supervisors, the sergeant on duty that night that had to manage this chaos that was going on, was standing in the back of the room. And it was a lot going on, so I'd like to recognize Sergeant Pounders for being there, taking control of that situation.
Well, both with the fire department and with the police department, we do have some of the finest working with us. Thank you very much. I'm not going to follow probably what is protocol. There is a reception to honor these folks in the mayor's office. I know some of you are here for other business that the council will be doing. Please stay, but those of you who are here, family and friends, we won't make you sit through the talking trash that we're about to get into. So while we talk trash, you go, there's some wonderful food back there to enjoy as well. Thank you all very much. That concludes my report. Right along.
At this time, we have a department head report. All right, council report. We'll start with Council Spivey.
Good evening. Just want to mention that the Chamber of Commerce had a golf tournament today, and it's something that has been done in the past, but this will be getting that ball rolling again. And it was a fantastic event today. Great event for the Chamber. Preliminary results said it was very successful for the Chamber. Tell us once again did a fantastic job pulling that off, and I won't say anything fantastic about the wonderful volunteer she had helping her today.
Oh, I had the best.
There you go. Anyways, great event. Everybody that had about 70 odd golfers out there today. That everybody seemed to really enjoy themselves. It looks like it will be something that we'll be able to do in the future and to benefit the Chamber. And I know I'm forgetting something. I apologize ahead of time, but I'm going to. Yes, ma'am.
Historical?
Thank you. That's
You're
exactly
welcome.
what it was. I appreciate that. So the Historical Society had its first kind of preliminary meeting last night at the library. There were a few people that were unable to attend. We know who you are. We know that you have every intention of being engaged, but we did have a few people that did show up, and we had some fantastic conversation around the rebirth of the Irondale Historical Association. We had some action items that we'll be following up on, some things to kind of get going on. There will be a Facebook page that will be created in order to just kind of streamline communication. I know that's not the perfect method, but that's what we're going to use for now. We're just in the beginning stages of that. So just be looking for the Irondale Historical Society Facebook page to come online here pretty soon. And just a great couple of days, and just really enjoying the momentum. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Ballard. Councilman Marino?
Well, I'd like to thank the mayor for giving me a good intro tonight. We had a grassroots movement that started over the dog park. And we had one individual that brought together other individuals, and without asking anything from the city, was able to raise funds, get material, and spruce up the dog park and put in some fixtures to give people more options when they take their pets. Very appreciative of Libby Lakin. Just so happens she's a neighbor in my neighborhood, but she did this totally independent of anything. She took it on herself because she used the park a lot and knew a lot of people that also used the park. And they got all of this done in spite of some bad weather during that process. But again, rather than, I guess, put the candle under the bush, well, she got out and lit the candle and made things happen. And we appreciate what she did for the city and for the citizens who use that park or are part of the city. A lot of things about to happen potentially on the economic development side, being premature to announce anything at this point, but keep your eyes on the different postings online. I think you'll see a lot of activity in the near future. Thank you.
Councilman Beard?
I don't have anything to report tonight.
Councilman Wilson?
Thank you, Council President. Just want to touch on the Irondale Spring Fest that took place on April the 29th. It was a great event, just in case you missed it. Want to give kudos to some of the volunteers because I never did mention some of the names. And if I miss anyone, please forgive me. I just got the list now. Some of our volunteers that I want to express a sincere thanks to is Mr. Johnny Williams, Mr. Theo Williams, Marvin Rogers, Lionel Means, Dale Creer II, Sheridan Creer, Deanna Creer, Rita Morris, Frida Williams, Lynn Marion, the Holiday Gardens Neighborhood Association, Ethan Mims, Mario Addison, Darrell Washington, and also the chief for supplying his guys and ladies there, and also the lieutenant, and also Public Works. You know, it was a group effort, so we couldn't have done it without these people. And like I said, if I missed anyone, I apologize, but it was just and the Irondale Chamber and Tellis, our executive director, Miss Tellis Shoemaker.
Thank you.
Thank you. See, I told you somebody would get mad at me.
And Lynn Marino.
And Lynn Marino, that's right. See, I shouldn't start calling names, but that's okay. But also want to stress, you know, we always talk about finances when we talk about spending money with the city. The Irondale Spring Fest, let me tell you, we allotted $12,000 to put on this event, the city did. And based on the outcome of the festival, number one, it was super. The people who put it on, the volunteers did an excellent job. We only spent roughly $3,000 to put on this event. I'm telling you, that is fantastic as far as the job that we did to put on this event for the city. Really, it wasn't a cash cow. We did everything we could to bring money in as far as sponsorships and everything else to keep the cost down. So again, I want to commend all the volunteers, everybody who took a stab at helping out, and hopefully we'll do the same thing next year. I did supply the councilors and the mayor a copy of a survey because anytime you put on an event, there's something you can always do better. Anytime you do a job, there's always something that you can do better. There's always room for improvement. But we sent out a vendor list and asked all the vendors a couple of questions as far as what we can do to make it a little bit better. So I gave all the councilors a copy. Mayor, you got a copy. Council President, I'm sorry, James, I did not give you a copy, but you're more than welcome to look at mine. But hopefully we can build on it and it can be bigger and better next year. One more thing, want to announce the Irondale Fitness Palooza that will take place on June the 17th. It's like a Get Fit in Irondale Day. It's going to be on a Saturday, of course. It's going to start at 9 o'clock. We're still trying to put the details together. Won't cost the city a thing. So I'm looking forward to everyone getting out, put on your workout gear, and let's go and do a little small boot camp. That's again, the Irondale Fitness Palooza will happen on June the 17th. All right? That's all I have. I'm sorry?
Who won the golf tournament?
No, that's me. I'm gonna say that.
You trying to get me in trouble? That's all I have, Council President.
Thank you. Thank you. I don't have much to say. Mayor and Reno gave my park report, but I will say this. Jansen Park, June 18th, right after the exercise, you can come enjoy some jazz at Beacon Park. And also June the 10th, there's a free football camp held at Shays Valley High School. So if you have any kids or anybody that's interested, you don't have to be a citizen of Irondale. You can come from wherever you want to come. It's free to any child that wants to come and work on their football skills. But also, let me say this right here. Let me clear up some truths about the park thing. I've been reading some stuff on Facebook that's some untruths. So let me clear up some things. I read something that the people have been asking for benches for years. And this council, the new council don't know, and the mayor doesn't know because no one's asked. I've asked the chairperson of the park committee about what's been happening. But the council, old council, know that the Beacon Park has just been finished. So it hasn't been years they were asking for benches. It's just been last spring during the election time they've been asking for benches. So I allowed them to get through the elections, and then we got on benches. Another truth is this right here. Benches is not the top priority that they was asking for. If you come to the park committee, you will know that. A new track is the number one thing that they're asking for at Beacon Park. Another truth is this, and I appreciate all the money that was given from the citizen, and I think the mayor gave some money, but as the park chairperson, I was never contacted. Now I always believe in procedure. I never cross over to any other council committee assignments because that's their committee. But I was never contacted about what's about to happen. Not sure why. I'm not sure what the agenda is. I'm not going to speculate. Only the people that did it knew what was going on. But if Ron would come to the meeting, Ron would know that if you come out his front door and make a left and go about 4 blocks, there is a beautiful park in this neighborhood that could use that money to put new benches, put new fences, and everything. I mean, beautiful. It's a beautiful park. We don't own it. We don't own it, but it would have been a great assignment for the people of Irondale to get involved with right here locally in this neighborhood, just 3 blocks away. The church owns it. And we've been trying to, for the past 4 years, to get some work done to it, but we can't put any money in it because we don't own the property. But it would have been a great opportunity for the citizens. We want to get them involved. Great opportunity for the citizens to get involved with that project. So I'm gonna recommend we got benches in the playground. That's what they wanted. They didn't want benches around the track. That's for the past 4. They don't want benches around the track. People want benches in the playground when they drop their kids off or grandchildren. They want to have a place to sit and watch their kids and not having to go to the pavilion or stand and watch. So that's what they want the benches for. They want new track at Beacon Park. I can say this is the truth. For the past 25 years, there's nothing been done at Beacon Park, nothing. My son is 30. He played on the old playground equipment. The old council got together, the old council came together, and this is what you have. You got new playground equipment, you got new pavilions, you got, all the nice things that you have at Beacon Park. Because the old council and the mayor, came together and decided that was a city park. It's not a John London park, it's a city park. It was there before John came to Irondale, and it's gonna be there forever. And it was the biggest park in the city, and they decided to do something about it. And I thank them. I thank all the councilors here and the mayor who are here for doing that. And that's what you have. Now, your children have a new playground, new pavilions where you can come and sit down and really enjoy and be proud of Citizens of Irondale. We have park committees, we have procedures. Everything that's happening in the parks, not a John decision. It's a camaraderie, people come together with ideals and then moving from there and then bring it back to the council. Never gotten outside the council. So I'm a little disappointed. I'm just going to be honest. I'm a little disappointed that I was never contacted as the chairperson of the park committee. That'd be just like any other council not being contacted from their committee assignments. So I am very disappointed that I was never contacted about this project. Never contacted about this project as a chairperson. So now, are we as elected officials allowing the citizens to run our committees? Or are we, you talking about working together, I mean, I hear that from all the time, but are we really working together to move this city forward? Are we really doing that? Or are you doing what you want to do? So I believe in process, I believe in procedures, I believe in allowing folks to do what they do. I believe in allowing the chamber to do chamber deals. And she calls me, I can work with that. That's what I believe in. I allow people to do their job. That's what I believe in. But I am disappointed. I'm disappointed that as the chairperson of this committee, I was never contacted. You know your agenda. I walk in this meeting every night. No one said a word about what we was doing. I see it on Facebook. That's okay. But you got to tell the truth about when you do it on Facebook. It hadn't been years. The park just got finished. It's been last spring when they started asking for these benches. And I think, Frank, the benches are there. And it took about 2 weeks to get them there. And thank you, Frank, for working hard to get that done. It took about 2 weeks and the benches are there. The benches are there. Because some folks worked together and he did it the right way. Simple as that. So I want to say take this money and put it in this great place that you have in your district, Ron. It's a beautiful place. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's a beautiful place, and they can use this money to spruce up that park in this neighborhood. Some about the people, David, if you don't mind, it's your district. I'm gonna recommend that we use this money to spruce up your park, that park in your district. You know, the council can vote however they want, but I'm gonna recommend that we use that money for your park, and that's in this district. It's a beautiful place down there.
To comment on that, since you directed that towards me during your report, I agree that park needs some work. I do believe that the church owns that, and me and Pat Fraser actually talked about that. She's got a relationship with that church, and we're gonna try to work on that and open that can back up. But the citizens specifically gave to that purpose, and I think that if I'm giving money for something, and that money is accepted, then I expect that money to be spent on what I gave it for. So that's my pushback to you on that.
Okay, and that's fine.
I agree with that. Citizens gave it for a purpose.
That's okay. We'll agree to that.
Where they designated.
But my question is this: if I would have been contacted, then I could have nipped this in the bud and directed this money to your place, because we don't know it, but it's a great place. It's a great place to spend your money in your neighborhood. Spend the money in your neighborhood. It's awesome. It's awesome. So that's my you had your report, Mayor. I didn't question. That's my report. We can talk about it later. You know, that's my report, and then we can move on from there. Okay. All right. I got a report from the boards and non-council committees. Tell us, you're number one.
Okay, here's something fun.
Thank you.
Fun. Good afternoon. Can I face this way?
You can.
Thank you. Hi, my name's Tellis Shoemaker, and I'm the Executive Director of the Irondale Chamber of Commerce. As you've heard today, we had a golf tournament. Now, you're not going to believe who won the golf tournament. One, my president, Joe Meads, who insisted we have a golf tournament. Two, Darren Hamrick, who works with him at Sane Engineering, that's the city engineer. Joe Knight, who is also on that team, who is the commissioner of Jefferson County, And last but not least, and this is the fun part of it, Bobby Joe Wilson. Joe, Bobby Joe, and Darren.
Thank you, Taylor.
You're welcome.
Before we approve the agenda, I want James Stewart to read the number 2 item that we added tonight, Resolution 2017 R60.
Resolved that Resolution 2017-R-60 accepts the Irondale Education and Youth Committee recommendation to provide funding for the Shades Valley High School FBLA to attend the National Convention for a public purpose in the amount of $2,000.
You heard the addition, yes.
And if I can make one addition, is that just a very tail end to also say again that the council finds this expenditure to be to serve a public purpose. No, I mean, I thought yours was good, just add that last line on.
Say one more time. Yeah.
That the council finds this expenditure to serve a public purpose.
Can I get a motion to add that resolution to the agenda?
I make a motion that item number 2 be added to the agenda. We got to approve the agenda first, don't we? Or add
That's
it
correct.
here.
This is just y'all are right now
Just
in the
writing it down.
process of
Oh, okay.
adding that to the agenda. And y'all have a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
With the addition, okay.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
I
He
make
made
the
a motion, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Public comments on the agenda items?
So you got to approve the
You
agenda.
approve it?
I make a motion the agenda be approved with the addition of item number 2, resolution 2017 R60.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good. Public comments on the agenda items only.
Can I say one thing before everybody comes to do their public comments? If you don't mind taking one of these forms when you sit down and fill it out for me, I'd appreciate it. Although I know you will, though, so you
I'm Donald Lovelap, 1335 Irondale Road, Irondale. This year, I'm celebrating a couple of things. 30 years ago, I moved to Irondale. I have thoroughly enjoyed the city, and one of the things that has stood out in my experience here has been the Public Works Department. And this item here on the agenda to go to one-day garbage service. I personally don't have an issue with it if we can maintain the quality of service that we have had over the years. I do have a question concerning the recycle effort here in Irondale when it comes to the cost benefit to the city of Irondale. What is it called? What is the cost involved in this effort? And I am told that we are paid by the recycling company a certain amount per ton of material. And I question if the recycling effort is not so much a moneymaker, but in the long run, it is costing us a lot here in the city, and I question sometimes the benefit of it. Now, another question that has been raised on this, I am told that people are putting into these recycling bins items that should not be there. And as I understand it, we could be penalized on that. So my concern here and request to you is look into the actual cost to provide this service and what is being picked up, and turned over to the recycling company. Not that we're supposed to make a profit on it necessarily, but I sometimes wonder about the cost benefit of this type of service. But overall, the Public Works Department and picking up garbage, trash, and everything else in my 30 years here has been, put it this way, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'll give it a 10. Thank you.
John, if I may, I'd like to answer this question to some extent. It's my understanding that it cost us $27.50, is that per ton to dump, take garbage to the dump, is that right, Frank? $27.50. So every ton we put in recycling, we save the city $27, even if they don't pay us for anything. And as far as putting the wrong materials in there, I have had materials pulled out of my recycle bin by the employees and put back, you know, that I had something that I put in there by mistake that they weren't supposed to take. And so they are looking at what goes in there. I can tell you from experience that if I put something in there that's not right, they'll take it out and put it back in there when they leave. So it's saving the city $27.50 per ton, every ton that we put in recycling, and the city employees seem to be doing a good job of going through it before they put it in the truck.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
City Foyer, 5729 Belmont Drive. I'd like to take this time to thank Mayor Moore and Frank and you city council members for working on this trash ordinance. It is something that, in attending the city council meetings throughout the year, you know, we're winding up short at the end of the year and having to move funding towards our public works to cover the shortfall. So as a taxpayer, I really appreciate it when our mayor and Frank and the city council takes a look at this to find out more efficient ways of operating our city. And there's so many pros to moving towards the one day and then the recycling. And comment to the recycling also, because keep in mind that the earth has been given to us and we are responsible for being good stewards. And that means things that can be recycled and not sent to a landfill, we're being those good stewards. So there are some other benefits that we need to take into account when we look at recycling. But I just want to thank you, because if you look at this in the long run, as the mayor mentioned, you're not having to maintenance trucks, your roads are not being damaged by that extra day. The crew can now be used to work in other parts of the city where attention needs to be given, which means not needing to hire additional staff. So there are a lot of benefits, and I just want to thank you for all your hard work, because as a taxpayer, you are doing what you've been called to do as servants of the community of Irondale. Thank you.
John Showman, 3848 Rock Ridge Road. I have been on the council in the past years. I've seen things change, come and go, as far as recycling is concerned, as far as collection is concerned, and there's several issues in what has been proposed that I think that can cause some real problems and anguish amongst the citizens. One of the first things is the changing of collection dates. The system that we have right now, if you miss a day, you have to wait until the next time it normally comes around. Several years ago, we tried to implement a system that said, oh, we'll just move it up the next day and we'll inform everybody. Everybody was so confused, they had to change it back. I don't think we need to go to that kind of system again, because the information that you can get out to the city and the amount of information the city residents are going to be able to receive, they don't coordinate. So it just caused a lot of confusion in that issue. I'd like for you to look at that again. Secondly, it says down here that we need to have a receptacle as well as trash, as well as the bag inside the receptacle. Currently, our plan, the way it's written here anyway, is that we can put out bags and we can put out receptacles. And it's a lot easier for the garbage people to just pick up a bag and throw it in, as opposed to digging it out of a receptacle and then throwing it in. So that to me is just adding more work for the city employee to have to take care of that trash. Thirdly, we're looking at the issue of the day of collection. They collect out in my neighborhood at 6 o'clock in the morning. So I can't put trash out and garbage out the night before. I can't according to this ordinance. So what am I supposed to do? Run out at 5 o'clock in the morning to get the trash out? I'm not going to do that. I don't think many people are going to do that. Recycling. I recycle myself when I have 12 recycling. But I think it's something that is an expense, a very big expense to the city. The extra trip, if the effort really here is to save money and use it properly, recycling is not going to do it for you, because that's an extra trip they have to take over the entire city. That costs more than $27 or whatever per ton of estimated how much ever they get. I'm sure in my neighborhood they're not picking up a whole lot of tonnage. I don't know how much they're picking up in other neighborhoods because I haven't seen it. But it doesn't come close to replacing the cost. Besides, a lot of recyclable materials, and you can back this up, you can go to the internet and find any place you want. If you look up and see how many of these things are really recycled and how many of them just reappear in the trash anyway, because people can't use it. The recycle issues sounds good and it's a feel-good situation. But as far as the reality is concerned, we could do a whole lot more. Homewood did a study several years ago about recycling. And there are people who decided to go along with it, but they also forfeited the opportunity of having 3 policemen. That was the cost to them of having a recycling program. The people voted for that. But people need to understand what they're giving up by having a recycling system. Cindy has done a fantastic job. That's been, the trash pickup and garbage pickup has been one of the brightest spots up Irondale. It really has, along with cleaning up the highways and cleaning up the trash on the highways. And I would like to compliment all those folks that worked with the Exchange Club in the city and cleaning up their neighborhoods in the middle of April. And the city had a tremendous job picking all that stuff up, and I appreciate the city doing that. But the point I'm trying to make is recycling doesn't pay for itself, and it's a cost to the city. And research it, please, more so I can get you figures if you need to have them to back up what I'm going to say. And I appreciate the furniture being collected again. Yet I have a basketball hoop out in front of my house that was rusted and falling apart. Does the city pick that up now, or will they under this new ordinance? I don't know. It's not in a bag. So what's that? How are we going to handle that in the future? It's not furniture. There's a lot of questions that have come up with what you're trying to do here, and if the effort is to try to save money, that's good. But you're trying to save it, I think, in the wrong way. And the other issue is that these monies that are saved or that you're collecting from garbage can only be used for garbage. In what was stated on the community forum program, it said it could be used also to clean up the highways. That's not true. The garbage ordinances are by the state. And they declare how those garbage monies are supposed to be used, and I can help you look that up also. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to, Pat Frazier, 541 Conway Lane. I'd like to make a comment about our Groove West, the gentleman who just left. One of the high points is the fact that we have such a clean city and that we can count on it being clean. And I know that even with that, there are some of our residents that have trouble doing what we've already told them to do. So I think this is a little bit more restrictive here, and I don't think it's, some of the things that we're asking to do are not gonna happen. Sounds good, sounds like, it should be able to do it, and some people can, but it's not gonna happen. Okay, so one of my things is that I want our city to stay clean, and I'm concerned about the fact that if this goes to one day, if I miss that one day, that means my trash stays there for 2 weeks. And I'm concerned about the insects and the varmints it might cause. I'm concerned about some people don't keep their trash in the containers now, or in the right kind of containers. So how are you gonna enforce that? So I feel more comfortable with the 2 days, because if I miss it, I know I can get that other day. And I'd rather have the 2 days than even have the recycle. Because at least we can keep our cities clean, we can make sure there's not the chance of insects. I might not be doing it, but my neighbor or somebody else may be. And I would rather see our city be clean. I really applaud Public Works for what they've done to this point, and I want them to stay that way. I think if you can keep it clean, some of the other things you can get other people to do. But unless we have to do, if we gotta go to 1 day and we need 2 days, then we gotta find a way to do something in case we miss it. Or we've got to find some way to deal with the people that are not doing their trash properly, so that it will not draw these things to our neighborhood. So I would prefer the 2 days, that's just me, because I believe cleanliness is more important than some of these other things.
To do Revive Mountain View Road. The mayor was running, we talked about going 1 day a week. And if you're a small household, 1 day a week will get it. But if you are not, 1 day a week won't get it. But if you recycle, you have the opportunity to just have 1 day a week. But you got to give the citizens, they've got to be informed about recycling, what you can recycle. And it's some type of incentive that if they recycle, they'll realize they don't need 2 days a week. But it sounds like there's a lot of things that y'all need to really look at, consider before going forward. Thank you.
My name is Sharon Lawrence, and I'm speaking on my father, Terrell Nall, at 928 Iowa Road, and that's in Irondale, Alabama. I want to touch on the debris. He got a certified letter, and if the ordinance is in fact what's in now, as far as the guidelines for the debris, then he should not have gotten a certified letter stating that he was going to be fined for the debris that was on the road. And also, sorry, Mayor, but you were blamed for this when the stuff was put out in October, but it was your fault, So that's from your employees. Yes, that's close. But the thing is the debris should have been picked up, and I know that the guidelines changed, and if that's what they want to change now, then they should have been picked up back in October when the debris was set out. So also, any other thing? Any other thing on the debris? Good? So yes, I would like to request that if the ordinance does change, at least allow people to get a certified mail letter saying they're going to start charging him and fining him for debris that should be picked up for the guidelines.
I'm already here,
It's okay, we got it.
Excuse me, what was your name? Old man.
Tell me what's old so I know when I get there.
And I'll fill out a form when you get there.
Any other comments?
My name is Cheryl Jenkins. I live at 5184 Crowley Drive. I've lived in Irondale for 26 years. I've lived speaking of garbage pickup, there was a time when we had a contracted out garbage pickup with Waste Management that didn't go over well. And it had to go back to the city. When I first moved to Irondale, the city was picking up garbage Monday, Thursday, Tuesday, Friday. And then they changed and went to a contracted out basis with waste management. It didn't work out well, and garbage got to the point where it was everywhere. Until the city had to they had come back and start doing it again, picking up on 2 days. Then the city cut back on working days and decided to go 4 days a week, and that's when it changed from Monday to Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday. So if we go to 1 day and the same amount of the tonnage of the same amount of debris, garbage is picked up in 1 day for workers, and we're speaking about saving money, then the worker that's doing their work, you're adding extra stress to that person. If you say you're thinking about saving money just on cost, you can also open yourself up to liability, workman's comp claim. If somebody is not taking the time or the care is not there to do the job properly and trying to get it all done in 1 day, then you're exposing your workers to risk, and it could open the city up for a lot of legal liability they may not want to be looking at. So I am a 30-year employee of AT&T, and I can tell you the biggest thing that people love to say is, I'm going to save the company money. Most managers, that's what they want to do. I'm going to save the company money. But a lot of times, you jeopardize, you put people at risk thinking about cost savings and not thinking about the other things. So just for the workers, all this work put on them for 1 day, to do 2 days worth of work or 4 days worth of work in 1 day, I think you're not thinking that through. That's all.
Ronald Tinkles, 2207 4th Avenue North. Couple of issues, but number one, Public Works, I appreciate the work that y'all do. I've been here 50-some odd years, and I've seen things, change over those years. I remember when they used to pick up our leaves off the side of the road. That stopped. It just seems like one thing right after another, and it's usually when new people come in. I appreciate you, Mayor. I know you're doing some good things, but the trash pickup, I'm like Mr. Terrell now, I'm getting old and I'm getting forgetful. So just this past week, I forgot to put the trash out on Monday, so I had Wednesday that I could fall back on. And had it only been 1 day, like the lady said, in 2 weeks. So, it's, yep. And I think the mayor said, well, ago, y'all are here for us. And, I would like, personally, like to see it stay at 2 days a week, picking up trash. The debris, the logs, I think that y'all are changing on that from, I think it was 36 inches to 10 inches in diameter. I was telling Mr. Spivey a while ago that I have limbs that fall off I have huge oak trees in my yard, and I have bigger limbs than that falls sometimes during storms, sometimes they just fall. And, am I gonna have to start taking that to the dump myself? And, I'm concerned about that. But that's what I have to say. Thank you.
Any more comments? Yes.
I'm back. I remember what I told her to say, share once again. On the debris regarding the truckload, that was what the classification said was a truckload. But what happens right now is a truckload starts out less than a truckload. It's not picked up, more trash, debris is put out. It becomes 6 feet long because it's still not been picked up. So, we've got issues of what debris is considered truckload for.
Any more? Come.
Oh, just a minute before you start, I'd like to get that clarified as well. Originally, when we passed the ordinance that's currently in effect, the council, it was not put in the ordinance, but the council considered a truckload the boom truck. And I think now the mayor and the current public works director is considering the truckload as a pickup truck load. Can we get that clarified in the ordinance before we vote on it? What a truckload is?
There is no truckload in the new ordinance. We will pick up as much as you put out there as long as it meets those sizes.
Okay, so I just got it yesterday afternoon and I haven't had an opportunity to read it yet, so.
The truckload question was something you all dealt with years ago, put in place. But what we're saying now is we will pick up any amount as long as it meets those size guidelines. So you could have 6 truckloads, that's what you've got.
Okay.
So that's an increase in what has been the practice in the past.
Thank you.
And please distinguish, there is garbage and there is trash. You do not pay a fee for trash pickup. You pay a fee for garbage pickup. Keep that in mind. Thank you.
Anna Isabel on 4016 Lockman Road. The city has done an outstanding job. The debris, I'm a little bit worried about. They've always picked up, you know. I wanted to mainly ask, if we had a huge storm and we get government funds, I mean, are y'all gonna pick that up? Or,
Yeah,
you know,
that was addressed earlier. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but it was addressed earlier. We talked about if we received any major storm that came through from the EMA or any kind of notice like that. That's something that's different based on what we're doing here because that's a state of emergency or something of that sort.
Okay, so if we cut a tree down.
Okay, that's different now, without a storm.
Right, without a storm, personally, cut a tree down. We need to have it in those diameters in 6 different pickups, or how many pickups?
One pickup, one put out there, and they'll pick it up as long as it meets the size.
And then if you've got more than that, just keep putting it out, is that?
Put it out, do it all out, put it all out one day, put it all out one week.
That's unlimited pickup now. It used to be, like I said, it used to be with truckload, one.
Right.
But now you can stack it to the roof, you'll pick it up.
Okay, thank you.
Virginia Darren, 456 Sherwood Road in Irondale. I've only been living here, the end of this month will be 6 years. And I lived for 30 years in Northport, Alabama, which is north of Tuscaloosa. And we had garbage pickup one day a week. We had debris pickup one day a week. And it worked fine. And it was not done by Waste Management, it was done by the city of Northport. You just have to be diligent on getting it out there, and with the debris, if it's more than what's ordered, what's taken, get you a saw and saw it in half, or whatever you need to do. But these larger cities that have their own garbage pickup have one day a week. If we went to Waste Management, it would be one day a week. So it's not, y'all have been spoiled by having 2 days a week. And personally, I took it upon myself just to do a little bit of research, and I drove all over the city one time, and I would say that there was about 75% of the people that only put their trash out one day a week anyway. Terry and I only put ours out, and yes, we're only 2 people, but we put it out, used to put it out 2 days a week until we went to recycling. Now we put out on Wednesdays, we put out the recycle, unless he forgets to put it out on Monday. But then what I understand is they're going to adjust that. And the way the city of Northport did it is if your pickup was on Monday and it was a holiday, then you get it picked up on Tuesday. But what I understand is it's going to be Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday going to be trash pickup or garbage pickup. And there's very, very, very few city holidays on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So, I just kind of say that y'all are spoiled for 2 days a week.
One thing I want to say really quick is that we are Irondale, we're not Northport or Tuscaloosa. I don't want to just do what everybody else does. I want us to do what's good for Irondale. And what's good for us may not fit the shoes in another city or township or corporation or whatever. But we appreciate the hard work y'all put in trying to do things for the citizens here and for the residents. But seriously, we have to find our own identity and do what's best for us. So, thank you.
No more comments. We'll have deliberation of agenda items only. We'll come back to the ordinance. Let's go to the new business.
I'll make a motion that the, I'm sorry, go ahead. I'll make a motion that ordinance 2017-57 be considered read.
Councilman Beard. Let me go back. I said we're gonna start with the new business first. I want that one last.
I apologize.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Resolve resolution 2017 R59 to authorize the mayor to contract with CS Beatty Construction Incorporated to install the sewer main property line for Mercedes man. That's not the one I need to read. Resolve resolution authorize the mayor to execute change order 3 in the amount of $250,000 with respect to the contract between the city of Irondale and CS Beatty Construction to increase the budget for installation of sewer main to the property line at JJA Properties. Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion that resolution 2017-R-59 be approved.
A second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And we'll let City Clerk Stewart read number 2, so we can have clarification.
Resolved that resolution 2017-R-60 accepts the Irondale Education and Youth Committee recommendation to provide funding to the Shades Valley FBLA to attend the National Convention for a public purpose in the amount of $2,000, and the council find that this expenditure serves a public purpose.
Heard the motion read. Can I get a motion approved?
I make a motion resolution 27-R-60 be approved.
Get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, back to unfinished business. Do I have a motion that ordinance number 2017-57 be considered read?
I have a question for you. It's my understanding we're just going to have it considered read tonight and not vote on it. Is that correct?
We're gonna go through all the way until someone stops.
All right. I make a motion that ordinance 2017-57 be considered read.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I have a motion that we suspend all rules that will prevent the immediate consideration of ordinance 2017-57.
I make a motion that all rules that would prevent the immediate consideration of ordinance 2017-57 be suspended and immediate consideration be given.
Second? Second, Reno. Roll call vote. Councilman
Yay.
Spivey?
Yeah.
Councilman Reno?
Yay.
Councilman Beard?
No.
All right. Carries over. Next council meeting. At this time, we have public comments to the council.
I have a question.
Before, I'm sorry, go ahead. Okay.
Do we want to, there were a lot of very good questions that were posted on it.
Right.
This would be a good opportunity if the rules for the meeting would allow for us to maybe address some of those. Some of us might have written down, just throwing that out there.
Well, if you'd like to have a work session, we can do that. To answer some of the questions that was answered tonight.
Yes, Council President, if you don't mind.
Ordinance.
Yeah, as chair of the ordinance committee, Like Councilman Spivey stated, there were some good questions that was asked tonight. But in all due respect, the council and the mayor and our city attorney, we have discussed this particular issue during a work session, I know at least 3 or 4 times, and correct me if I'm wrong. And I do understand that anything that we do as far as amending the ordinance is not going to please everybody. But I do want to say that, you know, even though we amend the ordinance, the council has to vote on it, like we did tonight. Things can always be tweaked. It can always come back. Anytime there's change, we know there's going to be some opposition. That's fine, because everyone has an opinion as far as citizens in Irondale. So it's our duty to listen to those changes. But getting back to the fact, we've had several meetings about this particular ordinance several times. So what I would like to propose as chair of the ordinance committee is that we have a standing meeting date each month, because we're going to look at some other things in our ordinance as far as cleaning up the city, or either changing some of the things. I heard something about time tonight. But if you would, I would like to go ahead and put in a standing date where we can go each month and look at this ordinance and make sure that we're doing the things that we need to do our due diligence as council members to keep this city clean and doing what we need to do to maintain our integrity.
Bobby Joe is chairman of that committee. You can set a date.
Yes.
Or a day each month for that to happen.
Well, what I propose is I'm going to send an email to all the councilors and the mayor, because it's not just my date. I want to get input from the councilors and see what would be beneficial to everyone here. And all of our meetings are open to the public, so anybody is welcome to come. Like I said previously, we've had 3 meetings about this. So the next meeting that we have, it'll be posted. I see a lot of kids in here, you know, we do social media, we do Twitter. I don't think we do Instagram. Do we do Instagram? All right. Well, anyway, I do. But we're going to put it out because communication is important. So we're going to start having a meeting, judicial ordinance meeting every month. So when questions like this come up, we can already address those issues. And when we come back here, we need to vote yes or no, period. So I'll send an email to the councilors because it's just not my day. I want to make sure we're all on one page. And we'll go from there, and we'll communicate it. We'll put it on the website.
I do have a follow-up on that. I would encourage every single person that's in this room to have a copy of the side-by-side red line through the old language. There is a lot of the concerns that are in, that y'all brought to us are addressed specifically in this. You just have to read through the material. So if we're not adopting this new ordinance tonight, which there's legitimate reasons, you know, that comments are brought up, there is an ordinance that is in place. This ordinance has recently been enforced by Mayor Moore. It wasn't really enforced prior to that. So do understand that you will probably experience some change as the current ordinance is affected. So I do encourage you guys I do encourage everybody to look at this, and if we're going to have these meetings, I mean, we've been talking about this for 4 months now, and we've got to move forward because there's constantly new pieces of business coming up, and we're putting a lot of energy into this, and it can take away a little bit of our bandwidth to address new things that come up. So if we're going to have these meetings for the benefit of addressing these ordinance issues, we really need the public participation of this. So I would just encourage everybody to read this material and have input. And thank you for showing up tonight, but if this isn't over tonight, it's not over. So we need you to continue to give us input. It's just my simple.
Are both copies of the new and the old on our website currently?
The red line version, which has the new and the old in it, is what is on the website right now.
And put a copy of the version without the red line, or what's proposed also. So they-
New and the old.
Yeah, I understand. I've got it.
new or the old one, or do you want those?
Yes.
I found the side by side with the old and new language to be the most beneficial for me personally. That's what I posted on my Facebook page, and it seemed to be helpful.
Thank you, Councilman. At this time, we have public comments to the council.
Jan Betty for 56 John, Council President, I'd like to address something that you talked about earlier. First of all, in our discussion on Facebook, a lady, I don't know who she was, I can find it out for you, told us that she contacted you about the benches. And you responded to her that she was going to take care of it. Well, you did take care of the ones in the park. While the people, the ones of us that felt it was necessary was out there looking at the situation, we had two different people that were walking around the track. And they came up to us, and correct me if I'm wrong, Ron, but they came up to us and asked us if we could put benches around the park, around the track, because they were older and they couldn't make it around. And I know I couldn't make it around that track in one walk. And they asked us specifically to look into putting benches around the track. Now, I know the benches in the park itself is necessary because the mothers say that, they've got children out there playing and they wanted to have somebody, a place to sit instead of in the gravel or on the curb or something. And one lady even said that she has an infant that she nurses, and she had to sit down on the curb and cover herself to nurse her baby while her 2- and 3-year-old was playing. So there is a need for benches around the bench, around the track. And you were notified according to this lady. Now, she could be pulling our leg, but I can look it up and tell you who she was. And she said that she had contacted you. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you. That's not true. It's not true. I have, yes, come on, Coach, come on, Coach. Come on, Coach. This is Coach Cook. She's the assistant girls basketball coach at Shades Valley High School, and also the volleyball coach at Shades Valley High School. And she wanted to come and bring her volleyball team out to say hello to the council and thank you tonight.
I guess you already got my next.
Hey, you come up, ladies. Just come on up. Just come on up, right here. Come on up, right here. All the way up. You come all the way up. Yeah. Your face on.
Take that mic off the stand if you need to. There you go.
Just come on up.
I'm going to solve it the next day. It's on today on the Police Hills. Again, I guess my introduction, Mr. London has already told you all about that. I come to give you all, and I can turn, and I guess I'm going to rotate all the way around. I come because of the fact that, you all have a very good concern, but I want to give a positive note of what Irondale is doing. Back in November, you notice that they are giving $2,000 to the FBLA. The city of Irondale does a lot for Shades Valley. And today, this is the 2017-2018 volleyball team. Back in November, the city of Irondale approved $1,400 for us to receive a new net system. And so, with that being said, I wanted to bring my girls out here, and of course, you all gave them a great taste of what politics is. Just out of curiosity, I'm one of the coaches that does life-changing things. This is something. Raise your hand if this is the first time you've ever been to a city council meeting. Okay. So this is a great experience for them, and they got to see, really how the city works, how the world works, and it goes on like this. But anyway, the reason that we are here today because they gave us $1,400, and when I got my team together and I told them we're not going to let that be shameful. We're going to come with pride and publicly thank them for doing that. And I'm not going to do it, Mayor and Councilman. I have some seniors. I have 6 seniors, and I don't know how they're going to do it. I told them on the spot because I'm the Johnny on the spot. I told them right when we were walking in that they have a speech today. So I'm praying that it goes very well. So we're going to have 1 representative, all 6 of you come.
1.
All 6 of my seniors, if you'll come, because what you got to notice is at Shades Valley High School, just to tell you a little bit of history at the volleyball program, I have been the coach there for 3 years. I've been the head coach at volleyball for 2 years. 2 out of those 3 years, we have made it to regionals. And the most proudest I've ever said, the 2 years that I've coached head coach, I have had 5 girls to go to the collegiate level and play volleyball. And that's what it's all about. So with that being said, if you ever seen our net system, if you ever came to a volleyball game, we call it the sweat box. At the very beginning of our season, 2016-2017, we were 6-0. All of our games were home games, and the net system that we had, what made me have this reason, because they have a situation where we can write grants. And Ty, I give her the credit because she was complaining one day, and they actually have to use, with the old netting system, they had to use an actual wrench. You know, the wrench that you use to work on a car, that's what they were actually using to put up the net system. And that's what you were dealing with here at Shades Valley. But I was writing, and I'm not the best, I'm a physical education teacher, and I wasn't an English teacher at all. And so I had one of my seniors to kind of revamp it and everything like that. So I'll let them talk, and I just wanted to let you know the current situation and what's going on. So if you would address them, because they would want to give you the money.
Turn around. Hi, my name is Anna Catherine Brown. I'm an upcoming senior at Shades Valley, like Coach Cook said. I just want to let y'all know how appreciative we as a team are for this new net system. I've been on the team for 4 years, and it's such a community. It's honestly kind of mimics the community of Irondale. And I just, as a team, I think we want to make the city of Irondale proud, and y'all investing in us really helps us to achieve that goal. So thank you.
Yay.
Hi, my name is Sakia Grissom. I'm also an upcoming senior at Shades Valley High School. And to add on to some of the complaints on how much you put in as far as funds to the community, we want to thank you guys for making a effective fund to the community at Shades Valley High School as well as the net system. We are very appreciative as far as the community and school and student body as a whole, not just us, but thank you.
Hi, I'm JC. I'm also an upcoming senior at Shades Valley, and we've had this net system for a while. We all know how hard it is to crank out. I lost a fingernail to it one time. It's been rough, and if you know our volleyball team, people may look at us and say that we're not the best, but these last couple of years, we've been getting really good. We've won more games than we ever have, and so you investing in us, that's just even more encouragement. Like, we're doing better and better every year, and because you're investing in us, we're investing in you. We're gonna make us look good, we're gonna make you look good. So thank you for the net system, I appreciate it, I know we all appreciate it.
Hi, I'm Kiara Stoneworth, also an upcoming senior. I'd like to say this new net system will definitely be used in the future. I mean, not as far as us, of course, we're great. We're grateful that we're using it. But to think ahead, it's just awesome to see that there will be a new net system for the more incoming girls that will come in the future. And we're just very, very grateful. So thank you.
Ladies, I played volleyball on the church team for 2 years, and I got hooked on it, and I thoroughly enjoy the game. So I need a schedule so I can come watch. I love it on TV, and I just thoroughly enjoy watching volleyball.
Most definitely, we'll give you all the schedule, and just to tell you some of the upcoming things that we're going to use, look at it. We've already purchased the new net system. It looks beautiful. We were doing tryouts, and of course, one of the seniors, I'm not going to call out, but she was like, Coach Cook, can you please put the new net system out? No, and I didn't put it out, man. It's very nice. We got a padding on it, it has mounties, it has a mounting head on it, and it's just got that sense of pride in it. And right now, we're going to actually use it for income, and I guess this is where I'm plugging to ask for more money. But two things that we're doing with the new net system that we do have, because we only had one good net system, so we weren't able to make a tournament. And we're able to do different things. So you invested in us, we're going to make back to the community. On June the 3rd, we're going to have a women's volleyball tournament hosted at the school. So if you have any issues, you want to do that, please let me know. I will stay here as long as I got to stay here. And then on June the 7th through the 9th, we're actually going to have a volleyball camp, okay? And it's going to be for $40 from grades 3 to 8. And those things are, we could never have done it without the support of that $1,400. I mean, you might think it's really small for just to give us that, but it's going to be multitude. It's going to multiply even more. So to the councilman and the mayor, Mr. London helped me out because we want to make you all honoraries, and I know that we cannot give you $1,400 back because we can't afford anything like that. But Mr. London kind of helped me out on sizes of shirts, and we want to make you all honorary volleyball members of our volleyball program. And so we have nice shirts for you all. I'm hoping that I got the right sizes. So Ty is going to help hand that out, and it's to the mayor as well. But we thoroughly like to just thank you all for doing that. And I most definitely, we get the schedule finalized. That will be at the end of July. I will hand that personally to you all, and I would love to see you there. We're going to make you proud, I promise you of that.
What time is the tournament on June the 3rd?
That would be to be announced. We're currently just getting the teams together now. It's a $100 entry fee, and all of that is going to come back to our program and just for our expenditures for the whole season of the volleyball program.
Let me just say this to you young ladies. You know, I know this is some of you guys' first time coming to a city council meeting, and some of us takes a beating in social media. Takes a beating. When I say a beating, that's what I mean, a beating. It's almost unchristian. But let me say this. It doesn't matter what is said. What is said as far as towards me, and I think I can say it towards any of the councilors. This gives me gratification as far as sitting here. No matter what anyone says about me, this is what gives me the most honor as far as sitting up here. All that other stuff, I don't listen to. I don't listen to negative stuff. But this is what I do. This is why I'm here. As far as seeing you young ladies come here and saying how appreciative y'all are. So I appreciate y'all coming because this right here, this can carry me from now on. I'm telling you. Thank you. Thank y'all.
I just want to say, Coach Cook, there you go. Coach Cook, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for all the work you do. You know, we know $1,400 is not enough, but like Councilman Wilson said, we take a beating when we read those educational committee funds and they fight over. You know, we give all of our students $35,000. That's not enough money to support our students. This is what it's all about. This is what it's all about. You had how many students sign scholarship this year? 2 seniors?
I had 1 senior. Last year I had 3 seniors.
And that scholarship's probably worth about $50 grand, and we spent $1,400. I think that's what money well spent. I think that's money well spent.
Thank you so much.
I need the fat man, sir. I'm good.
I'll take it action, I'll shrink it down. Thank you. Appreciate you.
I hope I get the right side.
Mr. Stewart, I got one in the car for you, so don't worry about it, I got you.
Thanks again, ladies, thanks again. Can I get a motion? Second.